In the Middle Ages, Europe was a land of castles, knights, and peasants, all bound together by a complex social structure known as the feudal system. This system shaped the lives of millions and defined the political and economic landscape of the time. Join us as we explore the hierarchy of feudalism, the lives of serfs, the wars that shaped nations, the trades that flourished, and the grim reality of debtors' prisons. At the top of the feudal hierarchy was the king, who owned all the land in the kingdom. To maintain control and ensure loyalty, the king granted large portions of land, known as fiefs, to powerful nobles or lords. In return, these lords pledged their loyalty and military service to the king. Below the lords were the knights, who were granted land by the lords in exchange for their service as heavily armored cavalry. At the bottom of this hierarchy were the serfs, who worked the land. Unlike slaves, serfs were not owned by anyone, however, they were bound to the land and could not leave without permission. They worked tirelessly in the fields, tending to crops and livestock, and in return, they received protection and a small plot of land to sustain their families. Life as a serf was challenging and often harsh. Serfs worked long hours from dawn until dusk, planting and harvesting crops, maintaining livestock, and performing various tasks for their lords. They were required to give a portion of their harvest to the lord and pay various taxes, leaving them with little for their own families. Despite their hardships, serfs formed tight-knit communities, sharing resources and supporting one another through difficult times. The feudal system was often marked by wars and conflicts, as lords sought to expand their territories and power. One of the most notable conflicts was the Hundred Years' War between England and France, which lasted from 1337 to 1453. This prolonged struggle for control over French territories saw knights and soldiers fighting valiantly on the battlefield, while serfs and peasants bore the brunt of the consequences. Many serfs were forced to leave their farms to fight, leading to labor shortages and increased hardship for their families. Despite the challenges of feudal life, trade began to flourish during the later Middle Ages. Towns and cities emerged as centers of commerce, where merchants sold goods such as textiles, spices, and metalwork. The rise of trade led to the growth of a new social class, the bourgeoisie or middle class. These merchants and craftsmen gained wealth and influence, challenging the traditional power of the nobility. Markets became bustling hubs of activity, where serfs could sell surplus produce and buy necessary goods. This exchange of goods and ideas contributed to the gradual decline of the feudal system, as people sought more opportunities beyond the constraints of their social class. While trade offered new opportunities, it also brought challenges. Many individuals fell into debt due to poor harvests, high taxes, or failed businesses. In medieval Europe, debtors' prisons became a grim reality for those unable to repay their loans. These prisons were often overcrowded and unsanitary, with debtors facing harsh conditions. Families were torn apart as loved ones were imprisoned, and the stigma of debt followed individuals for life. The feudal system in Europe was a complex web of relationships, power struggles, and survival. It shaped the lives of kings, lords, knights, serfs, and merchants alike. While it provided stability in a tumultuous time, it also created inequalities and hardships that would eventually lead to social change. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment and let us know what aspect of the feudal system intrigued you the most. If you found this journey through the feudal system fascinating and want to learn more about this pivotal period in history, check out the homeschool worksheets in the description below. Thank you for joining us on this adventure through history. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more educational content, and share it with your friends.